Good morning. I know there's a great deal on excitement on the Hill because of a visitor who's coming tomorrow to meet with the Republican leadership. And some Republicans, including members of their leadership, have said they cannot support the vile rhetoric and radical proposals of the Republican front runner. Today, we have gathered to ask, since when? Since when have the House Republicans been so concerned about intolerant statements and discriminatory ideas? They appear to be shocked by their candidate, not just the front runner, the presumptive nominee, but all of their candidates. They appear to be shocked by their rhetoric on the campaign trail, but year after year, Republicans have enthusiastically turned their intolerance and their discrimination into legislation. As our video shows that you'll see in a moment, whether it's insulting President Obama, women, immigrants, Muslims, LGBT Americans, there's not a dime's worth of difference between what Donald Trump says and what the House Republicans have been saying all along.
Hello friends, it's Sam Cheney reporting for WebandIceNews.com. Today is May 12th, 2016, and the military prefers Donald Trump over all other presidential candidates. Here's a report out of Military Times. Military Times survey, troops prefer Trump to Clinton by a huge margin. In a new survey of American military personnel, Donald Trump emerged as active duty service members' preference to become the next U.S. president, topping Hillary Clinton by more than a 2-to-1 margin. Military Times poll, troops prefer Trump to Clinton and Sanders. A survey of 951 active duty troops, reservists, and National Guardsmen found strong support for the business mogul over the two remaining Democrat presidential hopefuls. The survey, while not a scientific poll of military voting preferences, shows Trump's lack of military and foreign policy experience is not hurting him among service members. Yeah, well, we've been in never-ending perpetual war since the false flag attack of 9/11, and we haven't won any of these wars, so we need a different direction in foreign policy, putting America first, and bring our troops home to secure the borders. And you can see right here that the survey was conducted from May 3rd to May 6th. About 66% of respondents identified as enlisted personnel, and 34% identified as officers. 54% for Trump, and 51% for Trump. Against Hillary, she got 25%, and against Bernie, he got 38%. 11% would not vote against Bernie, and 21 would not vote against Clinton in the head-to-head matchups. Amazing. End the illegal foreign wars of aggression, bring home our troops, and defend our borders. Military Times poll between the different branches of service. The Army favored Donald Trump by 56%, the Navy by 48%, the Air Force by 54%, and the Marine Corps by 60%. And they get into the methodology of this polling, but you can see that yes, the United States military overwhelmingly supports Trump over any of the other presidential candidates. That's why I'm supporting Trump for 2016 presidential election. Do your own research into the candidates for this very important presidential election. Subscribe to this channel, speak out, and take action.
Because I know a lot of people in Michigan that are planning to vote for Trump, and they don't necessarily like him that much, and they don't necessarily agree with him. They're not racist and rednecks, they're actually pretty decent people. And so I wanted to sort of, after talking to a number of them, I wanted to write this. And Donald Trump came to the Detroit Economic Club and stood there in front of the Ford Motor executives and said, if you close these factories as you're planning to do in Detroit and build them in Mexico, I'm going to put a 35% tariff on those cars when you send them back, and nobody's going to buy them. It was an amazing thing to see. No politician, Republican or Democrat, had ever said anything like that to these executives. And it was music to the ears of people in Michigan and Ohio and Pennsylvania and Wisconsin, the Brexit states. You live here in Ohio, you know what I'm talking about. Whether Trump means it or not is kind of irrelevant because he's saying the things to people who are hurting. And it's why every beaten down, nameless, forgotten working stiff who used to be part of what was called the middle class loves Trump. He is the human Molotov cocktail that they've been waiting for. The human hand grenade that they can legally throw into the system that stole their lives from them. And on November 8th, Election Day, although they lost their jobs, although they've been foreclosed on by the bank, next came the divorce, and now the wife and kids are gone, the car's been repoed, they haven't had a real vacation in years, they're stuck with the shitty Obamacare bronze plan where you can't even get a fucking Percocet. They've essentially lost everything they had, except one thing. The one thing that doesn't cost them a cent and is guaranteed to them by the American Constitution, the right to vote. They might be penniless, they might be homeless, they might be fucked over and fucked up. It doesn't matter because it's equalized on that day. A millionaire has the same number of votes as the person without a job. One. And there's more of the former middle class than there are in the millionaire class. So on November 8th, the dispossessed will walk into the voting booth, be handed a ballot, close the curtain, and take that lever, or felt pen or touchscreen, and put a big fucking X in the box by the name of the man who has threatened to upend and overturn the very system that has ruined their lives. Donald J. Trump. They see that the elites who ruined their lives hate Trump. Corporate America hates Trump. Wall Street hates Trump. The career politicians hate Trump. The media hates Trump after they loved him and created him and now hate him. Thank you, media. The enemy of my enemy is who I'm voting for on November 8th. Yes, on November 8th, you, Joe Blow, Steve Blow, Bob Blow, Billy Bob Blow, all the blows get to go and blow up the whole goddamn system because it's your right. Trump's election is going to be the biggest fuck you ever recorded in human history. And it will feel good.